There are questions like both of these on your quiz Thursday, so I want to make sure we're situated. These are warm-ups 12 and 14. Okay, now number 12 has a typo in it. Did you notice?
No.
Yeah, it says exponentia, and then the L somehow got after function, so it's exponentia functional. But it's supposed to say exponential function. Okay, and when you see that, yeah, exponentia functional. Yep.
Who's that now? No.
I don't think that that's anyone else's fault either. I think that's just me.
Oh, first time I was mistaken. First time I was mistaken.
Okay, so first thing we do is make a table. Make sure that there's the two coordinates that they give you are in the table. And then also make sure, what are you looking at down? No, no. That's like double middle finger. It's like two. 0, 1, 2. Please stop talking. Thank you. Okay. It says negative 130 and 2, 1.92. Okay. Now count the B's. 1, 2, 3, B, B, B. 30 B to the third equals 1.92. Divide by 30. I don't know what that is. 1 second. Cube root both sides. Oh, uh-oh. I typed that wrong. There you go. Sorry. Okay. So now I need to figure out what A is. And A is in this spot in the table. So I'm going to do 30 times 0.4, which is 12. Bless you. Y equals A B to the X. Okay, then scroll down to number 14. And number 14 is an absolute value inequality. First step is to pretend that you have equals. Okay, now I have told you guys to keep your eye out for any of these that have a negative, except for you need to look at it after you get the absolute value by itself. In this problem, you need to add 8 first. Okay, now is this doable? Because I have an absolute value equaling a positive. Yes? Okay. Okay, now I have two answers, 10 and 8. Should they be open or closed on the number line? Closed. And should I feel confident about getting these right? And the reason I'm asking that is because they're both of those dots are nicely on the number line, so I should feel good about it. If I got something like -14, I should probably think about that. Okay, now, what is the only thing that I'm going to test? There's only one good thing to test. Yeah, 9, great. What? Then you do like a half. Okay, so absolute value 9 minus 9 minus 8 is greater than or equal to -7. Absolute value of 0 minus 8 is greater than or equal to -7. Absolute value of 0 is 0. It's no big deal. -8 is greater than or equal to -7. Also. Okay, so what? They go out. Yeah, great. So it's false at 9. So my arrows go out because everything else is true. Okay, and then I hear you flipping, but there's a final answer. Don't forget the final answer. So x is less than or equal to h, or x is greater than or equal to 10. Since my arrows go out, make sure that your arrows go out in your final answer. And again, we're talking about this now. We have a quiz on the block day. A lot of you guys are going to do all of this perfectly and get here and then not write the final answer. I'm trying to warn you. It's happened a lot in the past, so don't let it happen to you. Remember to write the final answer. Okay. So we are using a resource page in the packet today. It's the one that says it says yeah, it says 9.3.1b resource page and it's got this thing on it. So just find it's not the first thing we're doing, but just find this and scooch it off to the side. Okay, so this lesson is really the same as yesterday's lesson and the same as Friday's lesson. It's just that there's two of them on the same graph. Okay, I'm going to do one in blue and one in red. Over here, I'm going to do step 1, y equals negative x plus 5. Okay, do you guys see where this came from? This equation right here, this inequality. And before I go any further, I'm going to decide if it's solid or dashed. And I'm talking about this one, solid. Okay, so come over to my graph and I'm going to go up 5 for the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the slope is -1. So I'm going to go down 1 over 1. Okay, then I'm going to test a point. I'm going to choose 0, 0. I think it's a very good option in this particular case. 0, 0 is far away from the line, and it has nice whole numbers. I'm going to plug 0, 0 into the original. 0 is less than or equal to -0 plus 5. 0 is less than or equal to 5. True. Okay, so I plot 0, 0, and I put a true right next to it. And I put false on the other side. And then I shade the solution set, which is true. This should feel exactly like what we did yesterday. That's because it is. Okay, any questions so far? Is that what you would expect from that particular part? Okay, so now what you have to do is you have to imagine that you have perfectly blank graph paper and you do the thing again for the second one. Y equals 2/3 x minus 1. And this one is going to be dashed. Okay, so I go down 1 for the y-intercept, and then up 2 over 3. My flare pens really, really don't like it when I do this lesson because they get like other colors on the tips of them, but they're just gonna have to live. Okay, now pretend none of the blue stuff is there. There's no blue shading, no blue line, la la la. You don't see anything else but the red line is 0, 0, and okay points test. Yeah. 0 is greater than 2/3 times 0 minus 1. 0 is greater than -1. True. Okay, so I'm going to put my true next to 0, 0 again, and false on the other side of the dashed line. Okay. No problem is over. There's no final answer to write. The graph again is the final answer. However, most of the time, you guys will have two lightly shaded regions, a darkly shaded region, and a light region. So we answer all of the solutions on the double shaded part. And you know how at the end of the chapter, we do the review assignment, and then I have the answer page printed for you? On CUDA, on your worksheets, it only shades the double shaded part. So it's not gonna have light shading here and here, it's just gonna have shading there, just so you know. So the answer is the double shaded part. And don't freak out if you only see that on your worksheets, that's just how they do it. Then we're gonna do one more, then we're gonna do the resource page where I'm going to start to use some reasoning. Okay, gonna do this again. I'm going to say first, for the first one, y equals x plus 2. And it's going to be dashed. See if I remember to dash it. I've been doing pretty good so far. Okay, up 2 for my y-intercept. Slope is 1. What do I do when I have a slope of 1? Beautiful. Forget to dash it. Don't forget to dash it. Okay, is 0, 0 okay to choose?
No.
Yes. Zero is less than 0 plus 2. 0 is less than 2. True. Okay, now in the second one, I'm gonna write it down a little different than it looks. I'm gonna write y equals -3/4 x plus 10. Do you guys see why I did that? Makes it easier for us to graph because we can see the slope and the y-intercept in their usual spots. This one will be solid. Okay, so up 10, which is why you can see why I made the graph this shape now. Down 3/4. 0, 0 is great for this one. It's really far away from the line. We get true all day today? Weird. Okay, now grab the resource page for 67 and 68. No, the quiz is just one of them. I don't know. I don't think so. Because it doesn't say systems in the title. Okay. All right, so number 67. I'm going to give you the two inequalities for this. Just write it down. I'm gonna do it with you. Okay, first thing I wanted to add is, can you tell which which? Okay, there's two reasons you should be able to tell. That's on the line, solid, and then also landed curve. Beautiful. So you notice there's an exponential there, so that means that there's a curve. So there's two hints for both of them about which is which. Okay, now what we're gonna do is test to figure out where to shade, but we're not gonna test on the bottom ones because we're gonna use reasoning, which some of you guys will like, because your thinkers like that, which I appreciate. Now on the curve, is it okay to test 0, 0?
No.
On the curve, just looking at the curve. So my question is the curve going through 0, 0? No. Okay. So it's okay to test 0, 0, which is here. I'm going to do it in blue. So 0 is less than or equal to 0.5 to the 0 minus 6. And remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. 0 is less than or equal to 1 minus 6. 0 is less than or equal to -5. Oh, thank goodness, we finally got a false. Okay, so that means that this side of the curve is false. This side of the curve is true. Just looking at the curve, ignoring the line. Curve only, not the line. Just the curve. There's no line there. So we're going to have to test something else for the line. But you could test anything you want for them as long as it's not on the actual graph itself. Jalen, do you want to give me a good option for the line? I was going to say 5, 5 just because I would normally do 1, 1, but just because of the way this graph paper is, I was going to suggest 5, 5. What? That's fine. Oh, don't redo it. Okay, so test 5, 5, which is the height I wish I was. 5 is greater than -2 times 5. 5 is greater than -10. True. Okay, so now you have to make sure your eyes are only looking at the dashed line. It's true on this side and false on this side. Ignoring the curve and the shading of the curve, just looking at the dashed line, true on this side, false on this side. And this graph is kind of interesting. There's actually two solution sets. There's two double shaded regions. Okay, now get your shading ready. We're just going to shade on the bottom ones based on the work that we did in the top ones. So take a look at A on the bottom ones. Which inequality symbols have flipped? Just the curve, right? Okay, so that means we're going to flip the shading on just the curve. So instead of shading over here, we shade here. Okay, now on the line, the inequality stayed the same, correct? Okay, so that means that our shading is going to stay the same. We can use our previous work to do these without showing work because we already did the previous problem. Okay, now looking at B. These two are exactly the same, so these should have the same shading. Now what about this? Yes, it flipped. Yep, it reversed. So I'm going to shade on the other side of the line. Okay, last one. The curve is the same way as the original problem up here, reversed from the other two. And what about the line? Right. However, if you're ever unsure, I'll test a point just to see. Okay. Now, if you guys could find the next page in the packet, which is the digital escape, which is the homework, I'm going to help you get started on that. Huh? Yeah, there should be in the box right here. The first problem on this doesn't really require any work. You have all that room in the box that I made, but we can talk this puzzle through. Okay, what does it mean to be a solution to an inequality like this? True, right. A solution is true. Okay, so that means it should lie in the shaded part. Okay, so for the first part, 1, 2, is that a solution? Yes, because it's in the shaded part. Okay, so in your answer, you put A, yeah. Okay, B, or 2, is that a solution? No, it's not the shaded part. So that's B, so it goes A, B, right? Okay, now this is the tricky one right here. It's not, because the line is dashed. So they're trying to trick you because if it's on the dash, it's not gonna work, it's gonna be false. And then this one, yes, because it's on a solid. You guys see the difference? Okay. So this should go A, B, B, A, correct? Okay. Or ABBA. Like a good band. ABBA. Okay, anyway, I don't know that there's any work to show there, but, okay, moving on. Okay, puzzle 2. Let me zoom in. Lot for the first one here. Okay, so for puzzle 2, I'm going to look at each one. And then I'm going to see if 0, 0 would be true or false. Okay, so let's just look at the first one. On my paper here, this was A, B, B, A. I'm going to write that. as my first bit of reference. Okay, now on number one, what is B? -1. And what is the slope? Shoot. Okay, so it's going to be 2x minus 1. What are my options? F or G, correct? Okay, you also notice that it's dashed. So it's either this or this. Those are your only two options. Okay, now going back to the picture, would 0, 0 be true or false? False. Can you see that it's not in the shaded region? Okay, so what I'm going to do is plug in 0, 0 to both of those and see which one would give me false. So it has to be this one, which is G, you say? You guys want to do number 2 together? Or do you get it? Anybody? Do it? Okay. So what's the y-intercept for number 2? Okay, and then it's +1 slope and it's solid. So our options are C or H. So I have y is greater than or equal to x minus 1. Y is less than or equal to x minus 1. Those are my two options. Okay, now I'm going to look back. Would 0, 0 be true or false? True. Can you guys all see that 0, 0 is in the shaded part? Okay. So it has to be this one. Is that C or H, that one? C? Okay. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna let you work on this. Please come see me if you get stuck.